Hello and welcome to Nicu You. I'm Belle Stevenson and this is the podcast where we're making sense of the NICU journey, one conversation at a time. Today's episode is part of our ongoing conversations around perinatal mental health, the lived experiences, the support, education and shared understanding. And I'm really grateful that you're here with us. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe as this helps us reach and support more parents on their NICU journeys. Also, a quick thank you to our sponsors, Salento and Meritcom in Strabane. Both support Nicu You and are great supporters of the One Day at a Time project. You can find out more at nicuandyu.co.uk. So in today's episode, I am joined by Rosemary, who experienced a NICU journey over 40 years ago. This conversation today explores historical NICU experiences, perinatal mental health in a time when mental health support was severely lacking, and coping with postpartum challenges. We're listening to this conversation today not just because it matters to us, but for anyone listening who may have gone through or is currently going through something similar to this, really difficult right now. Rosemary, thank you so much for being here today. Rosemary, I suppose we'll go back to your first pregnancy over 40 years ago. You were 20 years of age.
Yes.
What happened? When did you notice things weren't going right?
I actually had a good enough pregnancy. I was sick for the first 6 months, the
Morning sickness?
morning sick,
all day
all
sickness?
day sickness. But once it came to about 5-6 months, I felt brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problems at all.
Okay.
I felt good. And it was only whenever I went into hospital that morning. I went into early
Labour?
Yeah, 2 weeks early.
Right, okay.
It was 2 weeks early, so it was actually Strabane Hospital at that time.
Right, okay.
So I went out there that morning at 8 o'clock. So they did examine me and they gave me a pethidine.
Right.
Which I didn't like because I felt as if I was there, but I wasn't there and I wasn't in control.
Yes, very strong drug.
It was very strong and I just felt tired.
Mm-hmm.
So the day went on and I remember some of my family coming out to visit me.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you who was there because I was so out of it with that drug.
Mm-hmm.
So then they gave me another one then that evening. And I don't know what time that was, but then I was rushed to Elton Galvin in the ambulance from Strabane.
Why?
They never explained why.
They didn't tell you?
No.
What were you thinking then?
I just thought there was something wrong with the baby.
But they didn't tell you?
They didn't tell me anything.
Okay.
So I was taken straight to the labour ward and Louise was born at 8 minutes past 7 that night.
Mm-hmm.
But they just said to me, pick a name.
Was that a normal birth, Rosemary?
Yeah.
It was?
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
And any difficulty delivering her, or was she just coming naturally herself?
She did come naturally herself.
And then when she was born?
When she was born, they just said to me, can you pick a name quickly? And I just remember saying why. And they didn't really say. So she just said then, so it was actually her daddy that said, because we talked about my 2 younger sisters, always chatted about the name, Louise Marie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how Louise got her name, because they used to play house and later on this wee girl was called Louise Marie. So if I had a girl, but I call her Louise Marie. So that's how Louise's name came about, because it was the first name came into my head and his. So that's how she got her name.
Were you in a panic or anything, or?
I was, because I didn't know.
Yeah, so it hit you actually. There was something wrong
there was
here.
Something wrong, yeah. So they just took Louise away, and they just said they had to do tests that she was passing blood.
Okay.
And they didn't know where it was coming from.
Right. Okay.
So after that, I was taken to a ward.
So probably postnatal. Then you went to postnatal.
Yeah.
Louise went to neonatal.
She went to
or special baby unit.
It was neonatal
at that time.
Yeah.
So when then did you actually see her for the first
I
time?
didn't
Really?
see Louise. It must have been, I would say, 3-4 days later.
4 days.
Yeah. And that's because I sneaked out of the bed. I sneaked out and went over to the ward to see her. And whenever I got over there, I just said I was over to see my baby, and they said, "Who was it?" And I said, "Louise." And she wasn't a bit nice about me being over there. And I says, "Well, I haven't seen her since I had her, so I want to see her." And so she did show me where she was, so I just went over and was just looking on the wee incubator
Mm-hmm.
and just holding her hand, which is terrible now whenever I think about it.
Yeah.
That they took her.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just took her from me, and that was it.
Didn't say anything.
No.
4 days.
Mm-hmm. Could even have been 5. I can't really remember.
Can you remember being apart from her? I have a tissue if you want one. Being apart from her in that postnatal ward. Can you remember what your feelings were? Can you remember what you were going through mentally?
I just kept worrying about her. What is wrong? Is she still okay? Why has this happened? Why are they not explaining to me what's happened? Can nobody come and talk to me and say, "Louise is doing fine"? Just anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I got out of the bed and went over myself.
Did you have a longing
Oh, of course I
like
did.
to hold her?
Yeah, I just wanted her on my arms. And they just said that I had a rest because my placenta had came away.
Right, okay.
And they were afraid of me hemorrhaging.
Right.
So
4 days you didn't see her and you actually defied rules and whatever and went and managed to see her.
Yeah.
And then when you went in and you actually touched her hand, and what were your feelings when you walked into that unit and you saw the incubators and the equipment and listened to the beeps and the smells? What?
Oh, I was so nervous. I was really shaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what I was going to see because I didn't know what way she
It's
was.
unknown. You knew nothing.
It was the unknown. I didn't know what way she was. I didn't know anything. If there was going to be tubes coming out of her, anything. I really didn't know anything. So I was very nervous and anxious.
I would say that. So then, did you work with her then? Did they encourage you?
No,
No.
I didn't. I sat beside her and I just held her hand. And then I went over and I said to one of the nurses, "I think Louise might have a dirty nappy."
Mm-hmm.
And she just said, "We'll change her." And I says, "I haven't changed her before. I haven't held her." And she was so tiny.
This is your first baby, Rosemary.
Yeah.
Never mind being in a neonatal incubator.
Yeah. And she was so tiny. She was this wee tiny, wee thin legs and everything. So I says to her, "I'm afraid to change her." And she just was really rude and just says, "Why? She's your baby." And I said, "But I haven't held her yet." And I says, "They said that she had been passing blood, and I'm afraid if I change her and I see blood, that I'll panic." But I had to change her anyway.
Did they help you?
No.
And changing a baby's nappy is hard enough, your first baby,
Uh-huh.
if you haven't had any experience. But changing a baby in the neonatal unit's nappy is a different story altogether, because you've got this box with 2 holes in it. And you have to change the nappy through the 2 holes. Yeah. And tubes and wires.
And they did, whenever I did change Louise, she did, you could see where, as they called it, the stools were black.
Yes.
So that meant that she wasn't passing any more
Blood.
Mm.
Meconium. How long was Louise in the unit?
She was in there for a week.
For a week. And during that week then, how often then would you have seen her then again? You know, would you have stayed much? Would you have...
I think she might have got over the last 2 days, because I think that we were going to get out on the Saturday. Then my mother said, "Don't come out on a Saturday." So we got out on the Sunday.
Right.
You know.
Uh-huh.
So it was just, she would have been away from me for about 5 days.
And how would you explain that separation, that feeling?
Awful. But I wonder now, sometimes Louise herself suffers severe anxiety. And I don't know if that would have anything
Carries through
to do with that.
from the mother to the
I
baby.
was, even coming home with Louise, I was so anxious. I was so nervous. It was awful.
So in the hospital, when you were apart from her, You had anxiety.
Yeah.
And was that from being separated? Or was there more to just the separation?
It was from being separated from her, but also worrying about her. That how was she? Why has this happened? Is there something serious wrong with her? Is she going to love? Like I had all these thoughts in my head as Louise not going to love.
And did they ever explain that?
No.
Not. Well,
Nothing.
nowadays they obviously would be explaining that, Rosemary. Just shows you things have moved on. With mental health support, did they offer you any kind of mental health support?
Nothing.
Did they have like
at all.
support workers or anything in the ward?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Mental health not mentioned at all?
No.
And how, looking back now, would you say that that has affected your mental health now?
It has affected me badly because since that I have suffered severe panic attacks. I have. Like I would nearly say that I would have, I know I have it, like health anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time I didn't know where the blood was coming from either. Do you know what I mean? And it just put an awful fear of blood. I have a fear now of blood.
You have a fear of blood as well?
Yeah, I have a fear of blood. But there was no support at all.
Nothing.
I was just let out with Louise then, and it was just my health visitor come out to check me and Louise.
And they didn't offer mental health
Nothing.
support. It was just checking the
the
physical health of you and the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So have you found ways of coping with that long-term anxiety? How do you deal with it?
Well, I had to get the help myself. It went on for years, the panic attacks, and I just thought I was dying, and that's the truth. I really just did think I was dying. But it got to the stage where I was too anxious to leave Louise, even with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
The only person I left her with, and that wasn't very often, was my mother. And it must have been Louise must have been about 2 whenever I returned to work. And her daddy looked after her, but I still had that anxiety of leaving Louise whenever I was coming back to my work.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nearly like I became obsessed with her, that I couldn't leave her down. I couldn't do.
Would you have asked, medical professionals? Would you have asked questions or asked for help or anything?
I remember going to the doctor, and I did say to him about how I was feeling, but he didn't really say anything, to be honest. What I found out what I had was, do you know, this morning would have been on duty, and
yes,
they were talking one day about panic attacks,
mm-hmm.
and that's how I found out myself what I was having.
You didn't know what it was?
I hadn't got a clue what was wrong with me. I just thought I was dying. That's been on for years. It must have been at least, I had all our children in between that.
Yes.
But I still had the panic attacks, and I didn't know what they were until I saw it on that program, and I recognised all the symptoms, that's what I had was panic attacks.
And at that point then, would you have asked for help with mental health? Or would there have been a fear of asking?
I was afraid to ask because my children were young.
And
I was afraid if I say that this is how I'm feeling, so low moods, such anxiety, and I'd lost so much weight.
Mm-hmm.
I was so thin.
Mm-hmm.
I was that bad I couldn't eat. I wasn't even eating. I was so bad.
Yeah.
I was afraid to ask for help in case my children would have been taken off me if they thought I had mental health problems.
And where did you hear of that happening before?
There was just different stories that you would have heard.
Uh-huh.
And I just thought, well, if I say this, they'll take them off me. That was my fear, so I was afraid to ask for help.
Afraid to ask for help. So what advice then would you give to other people now? I know that's a long time ago. That's historic. It's back when we were having our babies. But what advice would you give to a NICU parent today from the bottom of your heart, about asking questions or speaking out or,
Oh, if I had to do it over again, I would ask.
You would ask?
I would ask. See, I was so quiet, and I was really such a quiet person. And if somebody had said anything to me, I would nearly have cried. rather than speak out.
Mm-hmm.
But 100% now I would ask, why has Louise, why has she been taken away? Why am I not getting to see her? Can someone please take me over to see her?
Mm-hmm.
I would have asked, can someone take me over to see my baby?
Okay. So then moving on then to your second child. Do you want to talk us through then? There was a series of, so it was a series of darkness probably hit you, Rosemary, with your...
But I also had a miscarriage after Louise,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually died at that time. I hemorrhaged.
How soon after Louise was that?
Louise would have been about 6 months,
Okay.
and that was so scary.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember them saying, quickly get needles on there. I think I must bring it on the shockers on.
So where were you when that happened?
I was in the house, but I had been with the doctor that day
Uh-huh.
because I was bleeding a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and he just said, just go home and rest. You'll be all right.
Right.
But I also hemorrhaged after I had Louise, so I had evidence. So that was another scare, having that done after Louise.
Yes.
But they said it must have been because the placenta had come away in different
Uh-huh.
parts. It didn't come
Yeah.
complete. So then I had the miscarriage, and it was really awful. They just told me to lie on the sofa and put my feet up. No, the doctor, because
Yeah.
I was passing out on the phone to him.
Okay.
So the ambulance came for me, and I had Rory at the time. No, I didn't. It was just Louise. So my sister-in-law had to come down, and even at that, it was scary. But I had no help at all from that either. After
No.
I came out of hospital,
Gosh, and what age
I
were
had to
you
get
then? 21?
21.
21.
I had to get 2 pints of blood at that time. But
Blood again.
I know, that's why I just don't like the sight of it now at all.
And then after that miscarriage then, what happened then? Did you go on then to
I went on then, and I had a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And
was that neonatal or straightforward?
he was 10 pound 1, big boy.
Gosh.
Now it took nearly 2 days to get him here.
Took his time.
He was taking his time.
Mm-hmm.
But everything was fine.
Mm-hmm.
They did think I was going to have a section with him.
Right, okay.
Because it was
Mm-hmm.
so long. But no, he was...
He was okay. Mm-hmm. So then you told me that you had another 4 miscarriages.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I had 5 altogether.
5 altogether.
Yeah, and one was... I would have been 5 months with one of them. It was a wee boy.
Uh-huh.
And I delivered him myself.
Stillborn?
Yeah.
That would have been really difficult, Rosemary.
It was. Yeah. It was really... But I think you just got on with it. Years ago, you didn't talk about it or anything. It was just... That's just the way it was. You just didn't talk about it.
Did you want to talk about it?
I couldn't. I just couldn't. Even yet, at times, I find that I really haven't talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, so that's why I'm shocked sitting here. Mm-hmm. But
do you feel that there was any help there? There
was never help at any time.
Never.
Even after miscarriages, and I found that I really struggled with that. Mm-hmm. Because I did go to the doctor and I said about how I was feeling 3 months after the miscarriage. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, I says, I don't feel right. I feel weak.
Yeah.
I feel tired.
Yeah.
I feel really down. I feel...
Mm-hmm.
I says, I can't explain to you how I am feeling. And the doctor just said, well, that's about right. It's 3 months since your miscarriage because of your hormones was up and now they're down. And that was it. So that was it. I just nearly felt stupid leaving the doctors.
Do you feel there's enough nowadays for people that have miscarriages? Enough support?
Well, to be honest with you, I was glad because I used to think to myself, I wish there was a group that I could have went to. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I could have went anyway. I probably would have. I had such bad anxiety that I couldn't leave the house then. I was so bad I couldn't leave the house. But I just wish there had been a group or somewhere or something that somebody could have helped me understand how I was feeling how down I was
Mm-hmm.
about the hormones and about all that, but there was nobody out there. And then I was so glad whenever I heard that the group SANS started up, because
Yes.
I thought, well, thank God, somebody's doing something.
Yeah, they're a great organisation.
Because I thought there's so many that has miscarriages and they're just left to deal with it on their own. And then it's also hard for the partner because they don't know, or husband, whatever, they don't know
True.
what to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Or to say anything to try and help you. You're on your own.
Yeah. What would have got you through in your darkest of days? And there was a lot of darkness there. What would have carried you through all that?
I think if I had got speaking to somebody and they would have explained more to me how I was feeling, that this was a normal feeling.
Yeah, to normalise it.
To normalise it.
That it is traumatic, that it
Whereas
is
I thought,
difficult.
Yes, where I thought, oh, I'm having a breakdown. I'm not going to be able to look after my children. What is happening
You
with
thought
me?
there's something wrong with you?
Yeah.
You're blaming yourself?
I was blaming myself.
So what would you say to somebody now going through that, going through the neonatal journey, going through miscarriage, going through any of those things? What would you, from the bottom of your heart, say to those people right now?
Definitely seek help. And don't be ashamed of it, because I was ashamed to say how I was feeling. Whereas now I just think, no, if you have a sore leg, you'll go and look about it.
Yeah.
Whereas it's so important to look after your mental health for yourself and your children.
Mm-hmm. And do you believe that your anxiety all began back with that neonatal experience, the separation from Louise?
Well, it definitely did trigger me, because I was fine through my young years. I was, I didn't know what a panic attack was.
No.
I was, so from that, I would say that's where all my anxiety and panic stem from. Yeah.
And are you getting help for that now?
I do speak to a girl, yeah.
Is there lots of support for that?
Oh, there is. I do speak to her, and she's great. She's great. That's why I think that's one of the reasons I'm able to sit here today too, because
that's
I have.
Good.
If I feel myself dipping it anyway, I might take a wee break.
Yeah.
But if I feel myself dipping it, I just have to text her and I get an appointment.
Very good.
So no, 100%
Brilliant.
counselling has helped me so much, but I had to do it for myself and my children. Nobody helped me. I had to do it for me.
And for anyone listening, you would, suppose, recommend
100%
lift the phone.
Yeah.
And there's, it's about that guilt. You're talking about guilt there.
Mm-hmm.
That's natural, and I haven't gone through it, so I don't know, and it'd be wrong of me to say I understand fully. I don't. But I know, as an ex-neonatal nurse, from that perspective, there's nothing that is too silly, too small, too insignificant to ask, from a parent, ask, no matter how stupid you think you feel, or, that you're being, you're not. Just ask for that help.
No, I would have, thinking back now, I should have done that, but because I was so quiet and I was so afraid.
Yeah, you were
afraid. I had that much fear in me. Am I going to die? Is Louise going to die?
And you had fears that the baby was going to be taken for some reason. And that has been a stigma from that era.
Oh, I was afraid to tell anybody. I didn't even tell anybody how I was feeling because I was so afraid that Louise would have taken off me.
So those were really dark times that you came through, the whole thing. But you got through. So what would you say carried you through those darkest times?
Well, now, I'm not a holy person, by no means, but I still have my faith. I had a makeup bag full of prayers.
Very good.
And I prayed, please God, get me through this. And I remember going to a priest that I heard he was a healing priest. And I went to him, and whenever I'm done, there was a big sign just as you went on the door. Do you suffer these? And it was all about panic attacks. And to contact this number. And that's what I did. I contacted that number when I left that day. Very I went on it was like a group therapy then. So, and that's where my journey started.
And that got you through. Very good. So I suppose one thing that really stands out from what you've shared today, Rosemary, is that your faith, resilience, hope, strength, your bravery got you through.
My children got me through it because I thought, I have to do this for them. I want to be a good mother.
Yes.
And I have to do this for them. And that's why I says, I'm going to counselling. I need to be able to take them out places without having anxiety and panic attacks.
And there's a strength in asking for help. It's not a weakness.
No, I know that now.
Yes. Yes. And being a parent of a baby in the neonatal unit, it is a journey filled with fear, anxiety, uncertainty, intense moments of separation. And back then, historically, you didn't know what was going on.
I hadn't.
So it helps with medical professionals nowadays, keeping you updated, educating you on everything going on in that unit, and letting you know where your baby's at, what's happening, being honest.
Yes, just being honest.
Be honest.
And being showing a wee bit of empathy, which none of that was shown.
Wasn't there then.
It wasn't there. Whereas now, I think, even parents nowadays, young ones, I think they're more confident to ask.
Yeah.
To ask things as well.
And I suppose we don't have all the answers, and we won't ever have all the answers, but ask, yes, is really important. So if this episode has resonated with anyone, please consider subscribing to Nicu You wherever you listen to podcasts. Leaving a review or sharing the episode really helps these conversations reach the people who need them most. You'll also find links in the show notes if you'd like more support or information. A final thank you to our guest today, Rosemary, for being so brave, so honest and open with us, sharing your stories and feelings. And to Salento and Meritcom for supporting this episode and helping make these conversations possible. And to everyone listening, thank you for thinking and trusting us with your time and your stories. Whatever stage you're at, remember you're not alone. It's a journey. Take it one day at a time, and shared experiences really do matter. This has been Nicu You with Belle Stevenson, and for now, goodbye, take care, and we'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Nicu You podcast with your host, Belle Stevenson, supported by Salento and Meritcom, recorded at and produced by 9874 Creative.